Tupac Shakur said,
yes, I am gonna say that I'm a thug.
It was tatted on his stomach. And he was definitely misunderstood, mainly as a theater kid from one of the richest counties in the USA. But did his 1800s thug predecessors catch a bad rap? I'm so punny. The word thug originated from the quintessential colonial bogeymen of British India. The thugs were supposedly marauding religious fanatics, sacrificing unsuspecting travelers to the Hindu goddess Kali. All over YouTube you can find slop slasher flicks that would have you believe, much as Victorian England did, that random death awaited you in South Asia. A British soldier sent to India, William Henry Sleeman, would soon become the Eliot Ness of the colony. After hearing some stories of cultish murderers and discovering dinosaurs in his spare time, weird, he became convinced that the thugs were the biggest problem to order in the land. Throughout various interviews of informers, the beliefs of the thugs came to light. They were hoodlums who got in good with travelers, only to strangle them with their yellow scarves at a rest stop. Sometimes they did a little poisoning with a hallucinogenic plant known as Jimson weed, which you can learn about here. And these dastardly rapscallions were so devious, they found a loophole in the law. The death penalty at the time only applied to murders where blood was spilt, so they strangled their victims, with the scars being easily concealed or played off as clothes, not a weapon. The problem is, scholars today have revisited these interviews and have called into question this vast criminal conspiracy. Criminals like to brag, and when you're killing people, something that's kind of frowned upon by most of society, it's not a far stretch to think that murderers would like to ascribe their actions to a greater goal or power. In other words, Sleeman probably rounded up regular old gang members who exaggerated greatly and were somewhat religious. Kind of like sicarios in Colombia, who would pray to the Virgin Mary before going out on a hit job. Sleeman was likely in a very, if all you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail situation. But oh man, did this manufactured crisis capture the popular imagination, reinforcing India as a lawless place, in need of some British civilizing. Sleeman's published reports were adapted into the Bible of the Thug Panic, Confessions of a Thug, written by Philip Meadows Taylor. This fictionalized account was immensely popular and was a favorite read of the teenage Queen Victoria when it came out. Queen Victoria? Are the thugs in the room with us right now? Countless movies have been made about this imagined fraternity of murders, Sleeman's words, all the way up until they're being thrown to the crocodiles by Indiana Jones. If you're new here, subscribe! If you want to know more about Indian history in this period, check out my long-form video on India's Rocket Man. And if you'd rather just keep believing this fake stuff about the thugs, give me one good visit Fun Size History.